It is the 1990s. I am in my teens and I am helping my family cut firewood in for many years worth of heating the house, actually. We get to take down a grove of trees in a field north of us that is going to be turned into field. And yeah, we'd rather see the trees there, but since the farmer wants to have more field, we are happy to make good use of this firewood. So it's a Saturday. It is cold, but not much snow on the ground yet, just a little dusting. And my cousins and uncles have gathered because it is a huge project. We've been working on it for many different sessions already. But this is a group work day, and that makes it so much more exciting. So we are gathering at this grove of trees, and I hear the chainsaws starting. I look around and see my cousins and uncles all bundled up. We have our teal and pink and purple jackets on, color blocks. We have, oh, I see the bright green snowsuit. Oh, that one's actually from the 70s. And we are wearing earmuffs or hats with big pom poms on them. It's just comfy, warm, cheerful. It's a very gray, cloudy day, but that's just fine with us. We are going to work and warm up while we work. So there are at least two chainsaws going right now. I hear the song that they make. They're making this kind of funny harmony as the two of them work alongside in different parts of the grove. It's not a grove, it's not a woods. I don't know. It's kind of in between. And there's a few dozen really good big trees in this patch. There used to be a farm site here, but right now there's only a barn left over there across some fields. So there's a few trees left around that barn. Now I hear the first timber and crash. That's exciting. We clap our hands. The first tree of the day is down. And there goes the chainsaw working at lopping off branches. So we head over, cousins all head over and start pulling the branches out of the way. In the part that we've already cleared on past days, just our family working, we start to stack up the branches and we are going to have a bonfire this later afternoon. Right now, it is just work time, and we're enjoying being together. Cousins that have really grown up together, all living within 9 miles. We have the branches pulled away from this first tree. I see another couple of trees already down further down the line. And it is time to start loading the tractor bucket with big chunks of log. So let's see how we're going to do this. Not the bucket. Actually, I think that's going to use the forklift. So the logs can be really pretty long. And at home, we'll take care of them more later, chop them up into sections that we can handle, and then split all of the logs so that we can carry them into the house and put them in our wood stove this winter. Right now, I see I don't know the name. It is basically a jaw with just two spikes, one on each side of the jaw. Like the top and the bottom of the jaw are just one big iron spike each. It's on a hinge, and I see them hooking it up to a chain. I hear the chain rattle as it gets hooked up onto the backhoe arm, and that is starting to reach out now over the fallen tree. I watch and see how this is going to work. My dad runs the backhoe. He does this for his business too, and so he's really good at it. And he reaches it out and over the furthest section of log and lowers it just enough. And my uncle grabs that jaw and opens it up and sets it around the log and then pushes it together. And as my dad starts lifting the backhoe, there it just pinches together around the log and lifts it out beautifully. Ooh, good job to my uncle. He had it balanced so close to center that the log is almost horizontal. We haul clear out of the way as Dad slowly swings the log around and brings it over to the forklift on the versatile tractor standing nearby. First log on the forklift. Woohoo! So, as that continues being loaded, our cousins are moving on to the next tree and hauling branches off of that as they're being lopped off. This is going to be an amazing bonfire tonight. And when the first load of logs is full on the versatile, Dad says, Hannah, come over here. And I trot on over in my bulky snow pants and jacket and snow boots. And he says, would you run this home and grab a cousin to go with you just to watch out for the unloading? So I've been driving the tractors for years, growing up with them in the telephone business and just around home. And so, sure, yep, I climb up in the versatile. My cousin Carl comes along and we pile into the cab. Looking all around, I see that everyone's clear, and I have this wide load of logs on the forklift in front of me, but not too many because it's got to stay on there for the whole ride home, which is probably close to a mile going around. So we are off. I love how this versatile tractor bends in the middle. It feels like it's this bug, a really big bug, twisting and turning as I turn the steering wheel, and it folds to make a tight turn, and then I get turned around and start going forward. It has this really easy steering lever because you can turn the seat around and you can drive, either end can be forward. And so I just push a button and it's kind of like a joystick, either direction. And I go the direction I push. So here we are. I'm going really slowly because I feel the bumpy field that was a cornfield this year, and it's just kind of lumpy still, and we're bouncing gently over it because I'm going so slowly. As we get out to the field road, then it's a little smoother because it's just a grassy sort of ridge between two fields. And then I follow that up. I ask Carl, you doing okay? And yeah, good thing he's shorter than me because he's younger than me because it's not a roomy cab. You can sort of stand up and bend over if you're too tall behind the seat. And that reminds me, and I tell my cousin this, what this tractor has been used for. One year, not long ago, my sister's birthday in December was so snowy, and it was sad, my younger sister, because we couldn't get grandparents together to celebrate on her birthday. But another thing was the day after my sister's birthday it was going to be my grandma's birthday, and we had her youngest daughter, my dad's youngest sister, my aunt with Down syndrome, staying with us because we were giving grandma a break because grandpa had already passed away. And so my aunt Dorothy was staying with us, and we were expecting grandma to come and join us for the birthday and my other grandparents, and no one could come. It was blowing and snowing that hard. The roads were just drifted shut out here in the country. So what we did was we called grandma and we had her pack. She agreed to pack an overnight bag, and Dad drove this tractor in with a snowblower on the front. He blew his way through the drifts 3 miles into the little town where grandma lived, and he picked her up. And so just like you, Carl, here standing behind the seat, grandma in her 80s hung onto the back of the seat and rode out to our place in the middle of a snowstorm on my sister's birthday. Oh, fun to remember that. So we had a special birthday that night with party with just grandma and Aunt Dorothy. And then, yeah, later that year at my other sister's birthday, we kind of had a double party for both sisters with all the grandparents together. By the time my story is done, here we are, partway down the gravel road, and this part's such a smooth, easy drive that I'm going faster now. I hear the as the engine kind of revs up and gets faster in a higher pitched whine. Now I'm turning up our driveway, and I see the big bare cottonwood tree near the house just arching over like this umbrella over the house and the lawn. And straight ahead is the Quonset shed, and I actually steer around to the left of that between the shed and the barn, our sheep barn. And there we now see, Carl goes, "Whoa, you have a lot of logs already." Yes, we do. So we are driving straight towards this whole row of logs. And when we get there, I carefully lift and tip and watch the logs roll out onto the pile. Yes, that looks good, right? Yep, we've got it, Carl says. So we just head back to the tree site. When we get there, it is it's so different looking. There's so many trees down. There's all sorts of logs ready to load again. And so I hop out of the warm tractor and I feel the cold wind hit my face. And we head out to the far end of the trees. My sister is saying, "Look at this." And we go in there and push our way through the dead brown tall grass rustling around us. And there is an old, old stove. I think it's a gas stove. And it's so retro and quaint looking. It's really cute. Oh, wish we had a place to enjoy using that. Like, yeah, there's just no room in our playhouse for that. So we just look it over and try out the different doors and nut and the dials and well, times have changed, styles have changed. Then we keep on working. As we work, even though it's still cloudy and windy, I see people shedding layers. Off comes the scarf. Off comes the outer jacket layer. And there's the overalls and lots of Carhartts and stuff. My uncles are farmers. Three of them are. So lots of good sturdy work clothes out here. But yep, they are warm enough to shed. And then we decided it's time to start burning the brush pile because it's going to be too big to roast hot dogs as we plan for ages. We need it to burn down a while. So I see someone gathering some brushy, dry grass and twigs and making a hole for them at one edge of the pile. It's on the windy edge of the pile, so it should blow in and light the whole thing pretty well. And then out comes a box of matches, and I hear this scrape and flick, and then the poof as the match lights, and oof, the wind blew that out. Okay, so time to crouch. They crouch down with their back to the fire and light another match, and scrape, poof. There. I watch as the match is set inside that little mound of grass and it just licks all over it. The flames are spreading and racing across the grass and the twigs. And pretty soon it catches some branches. There's plenty of dead branches mixed in with the fresh ones, and so they're taking the flame, they're lighting really well. Ooh, that feels nice. Stand nearby and feel the warmth. I take off my mittens and put out my hands for a bit, and oh, I feel that heat. It's almost like this prickly massage on my hands. But my back is cold, turned away from the fire, so put my mitts back on and get back to work. A couple hours later, the fire has eaten up so many of our branches. We keep hauling more branches in and tossing them up to the center, but it is really getting down to a size that can work for a hot dog roast, which is perfect because we are getting hungry. So my mom has driven out here and gotten as close as she could in the van, and she brought hot chocolate in thermoses, and she brought all the food, the hot dogs and the hot dog buns, and she starts spreading it out in the open side door facing the fire. We go and we find some good sticks in the still downed branches to collect, and we pull out our pocket knives and start carving roasting sticks. When you're working out in the woods, who needs professional metal roasting sticks? Plus, we need some really long ones to reach into the fire here. So we've got, I have one with a fork on it, with two spikes on it, and that'll be perfect for my hot dog. I think I'll actually roast two hot dogs, but maybe one at a time so I can keep them hot. And then we gather at the van door and we put on our hot dogs and head over to the fire. And it gets pretty hot on my face as I stand here roasting my hot dog, even with a long stick reaching in. I look around this circle and just see so many happy faces, some tired ones, but looking very satisfied with all the work we've gotten done. I see lots of sawdust and wood chips caught on us. And my younger cousins are kind of playing around, throwing bits of wood into the fire, and that hot dog smells good. I see it dripping and I hear the sizzle as the fat burns in the fire. So, time to head back to the van. I grab a paper plate and my hot dog bun, and I put the hot dog in there and just watch the rest of the grease soak into the hot dog bun. I know it's going to be so yummy. And then I take ketchup and squirt in and some mustard, just a few little dots of that. And ooh, mom even heated up a huge pot of Bush's baked beans and has it wrapped in a wool blanket to stay warm. Yum, that's so good with hot dogs and outdoors. Feels like picnic camping food. So I add some potato chips and apple slices to my plate and head over and find a log that hasn't been cut up or moved away yet near the fire and sit down on that and start eating. It's just so fun to be working together with family, with cousins, with uncles. It's so it feels like we're so loved that they come and put this hard work in with us just because they're family and because they want to help when we have a big project that's too much for us. And it's amazing to think of how we're provided for, how God's provided this wood to heat our house for years to come. And as the saying goes, cut your own wood and you warm yourself twice or thrice because we're warming ourselves at this part of the process, and we're gonna warm ourselves when we work on splitting the wood, and then we're gonna warm our house with it. So lots of I just feel the joy, and I feel the love of family, the love of God and his provision, and the joy of being outdoors and just working in even in the not perfect weather. There's this exhilarating feel in the cold air and the hot fire. The warm food is so soothing and strengthening, and I just feel great. I feel strong, I feel buoyant and resilient, and so ready to enjoy the rest of this day.